The next topic is brachial plexus, and there are a lot of MCQs will be asked from the brachial plexus people. So let's begin with the brachial plexus. So from where it is originating? Brachial plexus is originating from the ventral rami of your spinal nerves C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1. Okay, so the roots of a brachial plexus are ventral rami of your spinal nerve C5 to T1. Is there any branches from the root? Yeah. The first branch from the root is your long thoracic nerve of a bell, and the root value for your long thoracic nerve of bell is C5, C6, C7. The injury of a long thoracic nerve in turn causes your winging of scapula. And the second branch which arises from C5 is your dorsal scapular nerve. So root branches are only two. One is the long thoracic nerve of bell, another one is the dorsal scapular nerve. And the second one is the root gives rise to trunks. C5, C6 gives rise to upper trunk, while C7 gives rise to middle trunk, and C8 and T1 gives rise to lower trunk. Now the injury to the upper trunk causes your Erb's palsy. Injury to your upper trunk causes Erb's palsy, where you will see policeman tip as a characteristic feature. Policeman tip deformity is a characteristic feature of your Erb's palsy, and the lower trunk injury causes your Klumpke's palsy. So the Klumpke's palsy, the characteristic feature is claw hand. So upper trunk injury and lower trunk injury we had seen. Is there any branches from the trunk? The upper trunk will give rise to two branches, namely suprascapular nerve and nerve to subclavius, while the lower and middle trunk do not give rise to any branches, while the trunks will again divide into divisions. So namely anterior division and posterior division. So the anterior division of your upper and middle trunk gives rise to lateral cord, while the anterior division of your lower trunk gives rise to medial cord, and the posterior division of your upper, middle and lower trunk gives rise to posterior cord. Lateral cord in turn gives rise to three branches, namely lateral pectoral nerve, musculocutaneous nerve which supplies your BBC muscles, and lateral part of median nerve. And medial cord gives rise to five branches, namely medial pectoral nerve, median cutaneous nerve of arm, medial cutaneous nerve of forearm, ulnar nerve, while the injury of your ulnar nerve causes your claw hand. One medial part of median nerve, and this ulnar nerve is also known as musician nerve. Very important MCQ people. And the median nerve is also known as lateral part as well as median part combined together, and the median nerve is also known as laborer's nerve. Another important MCQ people you should never forget. And the posterior cord gives rise to five branches, namely upper subscapular, lower subscapular nerve, and thoracodorsal nerve, and axillary nerve which supplies your deltoid muscle, and finally radial nerve. Radial nerve is your thickest nerve, so it have a root value of C5 to T1. Another important MCQ people, radial nerve have a root value of C5 to T1, while the radial nerve injury causes your wrist drop. We already discussed long thoracic nerve injury also causes your winging of scapula. Long thoracic nerve supplies your serratus anterior muscle. So this is all about a brachial plexus, and you will find a lot of MCQs here. So the root value is also important, and the branches from the root, long thoracic nerve as well as dorsal scapular nerve, branches from the trunk, suprascapular nerve and nerve to subclavius, while the branches of each cords, and the important one is the root value of radial nerve. Every root value of important, but the important one is your radial nerve root value, and axillary nerve supplies your deltoid muscle, while the musculocutaneous nerve supplies your BBC muscle. So this is all about your brachial plexus, and we go for the next chapter.